Hey guys, welcome back into the video. So, who remembers Google Stadia, huh? That service that Google tried to get into the gaming market with? Well, if you're like a fanboy slash fan of Google Stadia, I got some terrible news for you. Cause it's looking like Google's gonna be shutting that down pretty soon. So, what do I mean when I say that? Well, there is a Twitter account going by the name Killed by Google where they cover things that Google canceled slash shut down. And according to a source that they heard, essentially Google's going to be shutting down Stadia pretty soon. I'm talking end of summer soon. So, let's go to their source. Just a heads up, old coworker and friend of mine, who is now one of the regional managers for Google, he's the one who got me started with Stadia. They had a pretty large employee/retail seminar in California. Long story short, Google's beginning their exit. They did not have an exact date, but they did say by the end of summer. He also mentioned that they will not be transferring their services or servers to any other competition, so it'll be much like they did with Google Play Music. Same exit approach. I'm obviously not as big as a fan as some of you, but you guys have always been super cool and helpful, so I thought I'd return the favor to give you guys a heads up. There were a few other details I could post if you would like, but nothing too groundbreaking. I do believe he's also mentioned that members will be informed 30 to 60 days before, and that the last month of service will be refunded at no charge for its usage. Also, any available sub months will be refunded fully to your linked bank account. I will speak to him tonight and ask any questions you may have. Thanks again, guys. Blessings. I mean, is anyone surprised by this news? I'm not. I mean, when was the last time anybody really talked in a big way about Google Stadia? So, at least to my knowledge, that's kind of tells you just how bad it's gotten for Google Stadia. So, and yeah, so it's no surprise here really. So, and which is kind of a shame because Stadia could have had potential, but Google squandered it in so many freaking ways. Let's see the business model, like where you had to pay full price for games that you don't own. And clearly, once Google shuts down the service, do you get your money back for those games that you bought? Absolutely not. You don't get jack shit. So let's see. Another thing would be they lied about resolution in certain games when Stadia launched. Let's see, like the most infamous one would be Red Dead Redemption and Destiny 2, like where they were saying both games will be at native 4K, but as it turns out, it was in reality it was capped at 1080p. So Google obviously was lying to people, to sell them on the idea of Stadia. And let's see, they were saying that the Google Stadia was more powerful than the the at the time 8th gen consoles, which were the One X and the PS4 Pro and whatnot. And they were still getting worse resolutions than those did. So which is kind of it kind of made it worse for them, especially from a PR standpoint. And let's not forget, like that barely a year after Stadia came out, they shut down all of their first party efforts. I remember when they even brought Jade Raymond for I'm sure some of you who who was at Ubisoft. She was one of the brainchilds behind the Assassin's Creed series, and I believe she was at EA at one point too, I think. But now, after Google shut down their studios and all that, she went over to Sony, and now she has her own studio with Haven, and they're working on a multiplayer service-based game for Sony. So, but man, I could go on and on and on about Google Stadia, how much they screwed up so hard with Stadia. So it's not what did you expect? Like, did you really think Google was going to keep Stadia around, forever? No. No way. Because Google has a history of shutting down projects that don't immediately take off. Let's see. Let's take a look at samples. Google Play Music, like that mentioned. Let's see. There was also... What else was there? Google Glass, for example. Anybody remember that? Just like I thought. So, let's see. They recently shut down the Google Hangouts app, and they transferred that into... Essentially merged it with Gmail. So, which kind of makes sense, I guess, but... It's just another example of how Google has terribly managed, some of their apps and products really in general. It's not too surprising to hear this. Now, keep in mind, this is a rumor, so this could be false, but it's most likely true, considering how, they're not really promoting Stadia as far as I know at all anymore. So, yeah, so it's not shocking at all. So, again, like a shame though. Google Stadia could have been good if they went with the right business model, and did some other things in general and not mislead people in their marketing and everything else. So, and probably the controller wasn't that great either. So that was another thing too. So yeah, it's not surprising that that this is even happening with Google. So I'm kind of surprised it lasted this long, to be honest. So basically, after their first party studio shut down, I think that was when Google realized the Stadia is dead. Pretty much, it's essentially just been on life support for like the last year and a half, basically at this point. And so people are so I wouldn't be surprised if like soon we get an official announcement, saying that, hey, regret to inform you that we're shutting down, blah blah blah. You kind of get the idea. And so yeah, Stadia's dead. It's dead, pretty much. I know I've said that before, but this really is. Because, let's be real here, it's really looking like that. And it's not surprising, really. Like, why should anyone be shocked by this? Like, I don't get it. So, you would have to be in absolute denial and a fanboy of Google Stadia. I'm like, I hope to God there's no Google Stadia fanboys, but knowing how people are, there probably are. People will fanboy for anything, and it's freaking bizarre. So, especially, ooh, man. Like I said before, if you've invested a ton in Stadia, ooh, I'd be really ticked off. Because it didn't even last 3 years. And that they're shutting it down at the end of the summer, by the end of the summer, excuse me, but not exactly surprising. So, anyway, I think I've rambled on long enough about this, but yeah, rest in peace, Google Stadia. You had a short lifespan. And it's not surprising, but that's because of how Google is. So let's be real there. So anyway, what do you guys think? Let me know down in the comment section below. And if you like this video, hit the like button and sub to the channel so you do not miss out any more videos. And I will see you all in the next one. Later.